Hi, good morning, Up With People world. This is Donna Reed, and I'm coming to you from Tucson, Arizona. By now, you've probably seen the wall in my office and in my house a couple of times. And I traveled in 1976A. And this morning, I'm super excited to have Krissna Morena with me. And Krissna, tell everybody when you traveled.
Yeah, hi guys. I'm Krissna Morena from Mexico. I live in Querétaro and I traveled in Class A 2012, so 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
And but that isn't where you lived when you joined the cast, right? You didn't live in Querétaro, did you? Or
yeah, I lived in Querétaro my whole life.
Okay, I was thinking that you lived somewhere else. Shows you what I remember. So, and you and I were just reviewing. You actually stayed with me when you were in Tucson in 2012, right?
Yeah, you were my host mom. It was so awesome to be there.
And I probably had more than one person. There was probably somebody else.
Yeah, it was I forget her name right now.
Was it Alexandra? Was it
No, it was from Belgium. Mathilde.
Mathilde.
Yeah.
Right. C'est vrai. So you and I talked a little bit about the fact that then after in 2012, then my son traveled, and tell everybody what happened then.
Yeah, so Caleb, his son, he traveled, I think in 2014, right?
Or 13. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they came to Querétaro and I host Caleb. We were his host family in my home with my parents and my brothers. And it was our first experience hosting someone. People, it was super cool.
That's neat. That's neat. So when you got into Up With People, had you seen a show? Because I found out that a lot of people hadn't seen shows. So
yeah, I saw one show. So my mom, she knew about Up With People or Viva la Gente.
Because she's my age.
yeah. And she, like, it was her dream, but she didn't have the chance to go because she had 8 siblings and money stuff and everything. So so she heard in the radio station that Viva la Gente was coming to Querétaro, and she told us, like, yeah, let's go, and it is an amazing show and everything. And I remember I didn't want to go really because it was like Friday night, I had a party with my friends or something. But I mean, we went, all of my family. And I remember it was a super cool show. There was a song that you had to stand up and dance and everything. And I saw my father, who is really like a serious person and everything, and he was like really into it and joining and everything. So it was super fun. It was really, for me, like traveling around the world with this concert. And of course, after, like, when it finished, I wanted to apply. So I went with the team that, like they write you down your, like,
interview. Yeah.
We were like behind, like, backstage and everything. It was like super cool for me. And then I was like, yeah, I want to go. And so I apply, and after some, I think next year or something, I was able to go. And I thank my parents every time for allow me to have this experience. So I saw the show before, and it was super cool for me.
So you probably, were you in high school when you saw it? So did you travel right out of high school, or how old were you?
No, I was 21.
Okay.
21 at the moment, and I was actually in my last year of university.
Okay.
So I stopped, I traveled, and then I came back and I finished my.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. That's awesome. It's funny to try to remember. I have to tell the group that's listening, when I asked Krissna to do this, I didn't remember when she was at my house, what year she traveled. Since I've been in Tucson and hosted so many and done so much, here.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's great. So so you mentioned that there was the audience participation and stuff like that, and so as the years evolved, the whole idea of costumes and everything changed, and I had done costumes, so it's always interesting to me, what were your costumes? What did you have to do to prepare to travel?
So they asked us to bring like one color dress, like bright, but it was kind of like this one that I'm wearing right now. Well,
A solid color. Okay.
like, yeah, like a solid color. And if we had some custom from our country, we were invited to bring it along. I wrote one about like a pre-Hispanic dance here in Querétaro. So I was able to wear it sometimes in the show.
Nice. Nice. So, and so were they doing a year or semesters when you traveled?
Semesters. I did one semester.
You did one semester.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, there was people who were able to do 2 semesters, but I did 1 semester.
Okay. Okay. And is there anything is there a song from your show that you find like really touched your heart, or you still think about, whether you did it, you know, here, or was there something that maybe you heard in Mexico? Because we always did different songs, you know. When
yeah. I was thinking about that, and to be honest, I was like, but then I looked up the
show.
the show, yeah, and I remember like the one person. What can I do?
Oh, that's a great song.
Yeah, and I really love it. I feel like it convey all of like what is the purpose of with people, you know, and I think it gives hope, because it is about you feel like you are just one person who is not able to do big difference in the world or in any circumstance, but when you realize about your strengths, your difference, and all of that make us unique, and how you can use that to make a change in the world or wherever, and I feel like it gives hope and it gives strength. And yeah, like even like environment, like talking about environment, like, you know, like doing separate your trash or wherever,
recycle,
saving water or wherever, and it is little by little that makes everything better. And we have to do our part.
Well, and the way that song was staged, where it just started with one person and then more people came forward on just one person, that was such a good visual, you know, for that really song.
I have the bond.
Yeah, chills. We say chills. Yeah. But me too, because I think we live in a world right now where it's the same thing, right? What can I do right now today based on everything that's happening in the world? So there's so many good songs, and doing these interviews reminds me of some of the songs from the past. So when you traveled, did you get to perform in Mexico or no?
Yeah, I did. We did in Mexico. I didn't do all of them because I did a PRI internship.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we were in some states, not my state, but my parents were able to come to Mexico City. That is like 3 hours from Querétaro, so they were able to see a show. And
that was my first experience in Mexico, was at La Arena Mexico in Mexico City, right after a circus was there. So it was lovely. So funny. So what do you do now? What are you doing at this point in your life 10 years later?
Yeah, so 10 years later, I'm 31.
No.
No, we are the same. No, like we look
exactly the same. Lo mismo.
Yeah. So I work from home in a publicity agency. I do copywriting, which is really cool because I'm able to write and to do creative stuff.
Nice.
And work with people that are really creative. I got married with my husband, Sasha, who is French.
Donc, nous pouvons parler un peu de français parce qu'il y a des personnes qui vont regarder.
Salut, les personnes de France.
Un peu de français, un peu d'espagnol, un peu d'anglais.
C'est comme ça la culture de...
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so I stayed in the international kind of part with
That's so
people,
cool. Yeah.
and we have an Airbnb here in Querétaro, so I stay like hosting. So I really like that. I really
That's
like that.
fun. Yeah.
It is
I
really
need to come to Querétaro. I've never been
yeah,
there.
yeah. Of course, you're welcome to come whenever
Yeah.
you want. We have our small department in the center, like in the center of Querétaro. It's really lovely. It's really historic, and I really like to still hosting people, you know, because it gives me the opportunity to speak English, to meet people from different countries. Like we have right now, we have a couple from France and Chile, and sometimes we had like from USA, from Hungary, from Korea. So it's really cool.
So
It's
do
really
you, Krissna, do you think that if you hadn't been in Up With People, now I know the world has changed and a lot of people have Airbnb, but do you think that your experience in Up With People led you to say, yeah, I want to do this, that this Airbnb is a way for me to stay connected to the world? I mean, is that something that you think that maybe you wouldn't have done, or?
yeah, of course, like just with the language, you know, because before traveling, like I mean, I had some English classes, but I was not able to communicate, and I was really like shy, you know, at the beginning when you don't want to really practice. So when I was in with people, I say like, you know, like just because of my shyness, I'm going to lose the opportunity to speak with people from different other countries, like so interesting people. So
Right.
it's like I'm gonna let that aside and to put myself out there. And so right now, I mean, I know that I'm not like I have troubles or sometimes I don't find the right words or whatever, but I because of up with people and that I had the opportunity to practice and everything, I feel more confident. Like, I mean, I always say like, if you understand me and I understand you, that's right. Like, I
That
mean,
is, it's all we need, right? The whole
yeah,
idea is that we understand each other.
yeah. So from that, of course, I have more like the opportunity to speak with these people, to welcome them to my house and wherever, as well to have different work opportunities, and just to meet my husband, because at the beginning he didn't spoke that much Spanish, and me neither French. So we spoke in English at the beginning, and it was cool because we were able to understand each other. And then, well, we switched to Spanish because then we saw that it was really similar between French and
Yeah.
Spanish.
That's
And
awesome. Yeah.
yeah, so it really
Yeah.
it really changed everything, you know.
Yeah. So I have seen on your Facebook page that you've also been doing some dance, right?
Yeah.
And I don't remember if you had danced much before I met you. So tell us a little bit about the dance that you're doing.
Yeah, so well, I danced since I was little because
Okay.
I really like dancing, but I feel like after with people, you know, I came and I was a little bit like depressed, like you have a lot of experiences and doing a lot of stuff and everything. So I really tried to have different activities that convey everything that I love about ugly people. So I started to learn French. So I started to like a different language. I got into dance classes, like more like not professionally, but more into it. I got into Amnesty International, so I could do some community service and be able to do with the
Volunteering and things.
yeah, and everything. So of course I was in university and I had some time, but like I mean some free time. But right now I kept on doing well, learning French and hosting people, and yeah, and dancing. I dance Polynesian dance, like
Fun.
Hawaiian and Haiti, from Tahiti. So I really like that. It keeps me
Fun.
moving, and we learn a lot about the culture of it as well, because we have to, you know, like tell stories with our hands and with our
Wow.
steps and everything. And I've been doing that since 5 years ago.
That's awesome. Yes, I've seen a few of your pictures on your Facebook page. So that's awesome. All right. So I'm gonna ask you one other question, then we're gonna do this little speed round, which sometimes isn't very speedy. But if you were to say one thing to this group that might watch this about the gap year, because Up With People, we know because of COVID and because of everything, it's changing. We don't kind of know what the new incarnation is going to be. But would you still say, if you can do it, you know, to young people? If you have a 20-year-old that came to you about Up With People, what might you say?
Yeah, like it is a really life opportunity and experience that it changed everything. Like it changed your life, it changed your view of the world, it changed like the relationship that you might have or you have in this travel. There's people who met their spouses there, and there's people who you know, like you do really strong friendships. I still have some friends from my past that I still in touch with, and it gives you really like I feel like it's not wasted time at all, because it brings up a lot of like communication skills, like leadership, of course your language, and everything. Even if you speak English already, there you can meet some other people who speak another language in practice. You know, some people will approach to me to speak Spanish because they wanted to, you know, to practice. So it was cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is so like I wouldn't think twice. If I could go back to that time, I would go.
You'd do it again. That's awesome. Yeah. That's all right. Okay. So do you have a favorite food that you ate for the first time, or you ate somewhere that you loved when you were traveling?
Yeah, a lot of things. I remember just like it was pizza, but we did it with my host family and we cooked it together.
You made it from scratch. Okay.
Yeah,
okay. Fun. And was there a favorite city that you went to that you might like to go back to? Besides Tucson? No.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I remember really well Hasselt in Belgium. Hasselt in Belgium. Okay. Because it was my first European city, and it was really like I remember I was like I feel like I'm inside a magazine, you know, like a fashion magazine, because everyone was like so dressed up and everything.
Oh, fun! Oh, fun! And so, if you had one place like that you would go back to, because so when I traveled, you know, we were only there a day or two. You guys spent longer period of time in a city, but is there a city that you would go back, or town or state that you would go back?
I will go.
Yeah, that you would go again to explore.
Oh yeah, lot, but I feel like maybe Denver, because I mean I know that it's a really big city. I did a lot of stuff, and even though I stayed there longer, like 1 month, but my I don't know, I felt a really cool connection there.
There's a lot of young alumni in Denver, Krissna, and including Caleb lives there now. But yeah, it's kind of, I call it the young retirement for young alumni. There's a whole lot of kids there. It's a great city. So, all right. Well, do you have any questions of me, or do you feel like there's anything we missed?
No, I really thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you so much for having me with you. I remember we were at your house, that you had a jacuzzi in there that we were able to, and I can see your paintings up behind you. Yeah, you brought you give us some like postal.
Oh, I did. I had made of my paintings.
And I really want to thank you, and wanted to thank all of my host families, really, because it is you that make Up With People possible as well.
Yeah.
And if, like, to the people who are watching as well, if you are able to host people from other people,
You
it's
should do
really
it.
cool. It is an experience that's really nice to do.
Super. All righty. Well, we're going to wrap it up, and then I'll post it on the alumni page, and I'll tell them all that your name is actually Krissna Moreno, not Krissna Brown. And you can explain that story, whatever that is. And then if you guys have a cast page or whatever, I hope that you'll share it too, because we're just trying to, there's a lot of older people who we have time to do this. And I told you, I'm having trouble getting you younger people. So I so appreciate it. And I love seeing your smiling face again and just catching up with you. So,
thank you so much, Donna. I am really happy to. Bye.
Right. Bye.